Why are we here? Why are we really here? Outside of the money, the fame, the success, the children, the family, the partners, the house, the cars, the clothes, the shoes, the animals, the work, the business. Why are we really here? It's what we're getting into today. I started doing shadow work about 20 years ago. It's been a long journey, and I have been through every single layer inside my being. And what I have come to understand is that we are here to create almost like an empty vessel for the divine to flow through. But the only way to create that vessel for the divine to flow through is to clear out everything that has been created while we have been in this human form. So that is where the shadow work comes in, right? You go and you meet all of these different parts of you. People call it dark parts, negative parts, the shadow part, right? The parts inside of you. You go and you meet them, but you're not getting rid of them. In my world, you're not getting rid of them. You are finding a space to love them, to welcome them into your being, to hold space for them. There's so much out there which is about getting rid of, clearing statements, getting rid of this, getting rid of that part, getting rid of your shadow. The thing is, the shadow is a part of who you are. After doing this for a long time, I realized I cannot get rid of my shadow part. My shadow part is for me to keep. It is for me to welcome. It is for me to embrace. It is for me to love. And by welcoming and embracing and loving my shadow part, I can tell you it settles down because it feels heard. It feels validated. It feels acknowledged. It feels wanted. It feels loved. And it no longer becomes a shadow side. It almost evolves into simply being. It's not light or dark. It simply is a part of who you are. And the resistance and the anger and all of these really big emotions that you feel through your shadow part, they don't exist anymore. They simply be. Your shadow becomes almost neutral, right? It stops triggering off. You stop having flashbacks and triggers from people because you have welcomed and loved and acknowledged and appreciated and adored and embraced all of the deepest, darkest parts of you. Does that make sense? The second part to why I believe we are here and how we actually move into becoming a vessel for the divine is that there is a clearing out. It is clearing out all of the stuff, the crap, the beliefs, the energy that we have from every single person that has walked through our life. Maybe this is why it's taken me 20 years, but I can tell you it has 100% been worth it. When I look back to where I was, even where I was 10 years ago to where I am now, it is fundamentally different. My whole being is different now to what it was because I have cleared out every belief, every story, every memory, every image, every creation of anything that I could remember that came from my past. And I would sit for hours every day. I would do this when I was driving the car. I would do this when my daughter was in an event. I would do this in the toilet. I would do this while I was washing dishes. I would do this while I was walking the dogs. I would run this stuff. I would clear it out because it's not mine, right? If I go to if I go to the shops and have an interaction with a cashier because she's having a bad day, I'm going to clear that out because that's not mine. If I have a belief that I know came from my mum, I'm going to clear that out because it is not mine. So for me, it was about clearing everything out that was not mine. It's not my energy, not my belief, not my story, not my pattern, my memories. Most of our memories are not real. Over the years, we embellish and we change our experiences. So we do not even remember the experience as the way that it actually happened. We change the experience. Our brain changes the experience. So I released every single memory that I had because it wasn't real anyway. It wasn't true. It wasn't accurate. Mainly because the person that I was then and the person that I am now, we have two completely different ways of seeing the same situation. So there's no point in holding on to a memory from the past. So I let it go. I surrendered it. And my way of surrendering is to actually actively say, I surrender this thought to the nothingness so it dissolves and becomes nothing. I surrender this memory to the nothingness so it dissolves and becomes nothing. I surrender this belief to the nothingness so it dissolves and becomes nothing. There are so many different ways you can clear stuff out of your being, but if it is not yours, then get rid of it. Stop holding on to it. It is not doing you any good to hold on to beliefs that are not yours and that you did not create and that you do not want, right? You get what I mean? The next part to creating an open vessel for the divine after you have gone through and accepted and loved all of your shadow and you have cleared out everything that is not yours is to now look at your thoughts and your feelings, because really that is what you are left with. You are left with thoughts and you are left with feelings, and deciding, what do you want to keep? What do you not want to keep? For me, I did not actually have any good thoughts or any good feelings that would come up on a day-to-day basis. So I spend a lot of time, I still spend a lot of time surrendering those thoughts and those feelings to the nothingness. I am constantly surrendering. Why? Because I want to create an open vessel for the divine to flow through. And if I am filled with memories, stories, patterns, experiences, beliefs, shadows, all sorts of things that are just constantly actively moving about my being, then what I'm going to be left with is a whole pile of noise inside of me and no space for the divine to move through, right? Do you get that? If you have all of this inside of you, where's the space? If you have all your shadows that are actively jumping up and down and triggering constantly throughout the day, whenever you come across someone and you have a reaction, then you have a reaction, then you have a reaction, and you're reacting to everything, then you're creating a lot of noise inside your being. Where is the space for the divine? Where is the silence for the divine? If you have a monkey mind going on, I'm going to put a link in the video below. I did a video for people that have this crazy monkey mind, right? I did two. I did one about the monkey mind, and then I did a meditation to help people sleep because of that crazy monkey mind, but also to remind the brain that it is time to be silent, that it is time to sleep, that it is safe to be silent and it is safe to sleep. And this is what we need to do, is we need to move into a space of reminding our body that it is safe, that it is safe to be silent, that it does not need to fill up with noise as a protection mechanism, because that's what it does. It fills up with noise as a protection mechanism because silence is scary. Silence means that somebody might be yelling or somebody might be hitting you or something bad might be happening to your beingness. And if you were brought into this world where nothing was safe, you were born into an unsafe environment like I was, then all of a sudden you have a lot of noise because your body doesn't know how to be silent. If you were, let's say you were left to cry to sleep, darkness and silence becomes very scary. It becomes very scary if you are left to cry it out, which I know I was. My mum used to say that she used to leave me in the cot to cry because I wouldn't stop. And she didn't want to have to keep bringing me into the bedroom, so she would just leave me to cry. But that was at night when it's dark, it's silent, there's no noise. My nervous system, your nervous system is on fire trying to sleep. And then you wonder why you have sleep issues, right? Or if you're like me, when you were 7, 8, and 9 and you had really bad dreams and your mum was in another room and she was fast asleep, it took time before she came in, if she came in at all. And that silence, that darkness, sitting there in darkness after having a bad dream, screaming because I'm terrified, it creates this pattern of fear, right? That we just don't feel safe in our physical bodies. And so we need to clear all that out. We need to clear out the story and the pattern and the sabotage and the journey and the memory and the image and all of that experience, while holding space for the shadow, while holding space for that part inside of us that is terrified. And yes, this is a lot of processes and a lot of, it's taken a lot. It hasn't just been 6 months of me doing this work and then magically I'm fixed and now here I am teaching everybody what I did. This has been a 20-year journey for me of going through all of my shadow, all of my patterns, all of my sabotages, all of my stories, all of my thoughts, all of my emotions, every single minute part inside of me that has not been divine. I have looked at, I have felt, I have spoken to, I have worked with, I have cleared, I have embraced, I have loved, I have done anything that I have had to do. And each time it's individual, right? It's working out which process goes with which part. And it's using the tools, right? And there are so many out there online. I have an abundance of them. If you want to work with me, go to lovecreatesfreedom.com. But it has been a long journey. But it's been a long journey because there were no tools out there that I was using that was working. There were no tools that were working for me. So I received or created my own tools to help me through all of this. But from my perspective, people that are here to completely surrender everything and surrender 100% to the divine, it is work and it takes time. But I also want to say that not everybody is here to do that. Some people are here to do some work, some people are here to do a little bit of work, some people are here to do no work, and some people are here to do all the work. We're all here for different reasons. We're all here for different experiences. But if you are here and you know that you are here to be an open vessel for the divine, then I invite you to do the work, the shadow work, the subpersonality work, the trauma work, the heart work, the feeling work, the thought work, the memories, the the judgments, the sabotages, the patterns, the whole thing. All of the work is there for you to do. If you want to do the work, it is there for you to do. And the divine, if you are feeling called to do it, is going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until you do it. That has been my experience. Can't say I've enjoyed it that much, but that has been my experience. Is if you are here to do the work to its entirety and become a complete open vessel for the divine, then the divine is going to keep putting you in situations that basically makes you deal with your stuff. You're not going to have a choice. Things are going to keep getting worse and keep getting worse and keep getting worse until you deal with your stuff. That has been my personal experience. I could be completely wrong, but I don't think so. So if you are feeling inspired, yet you are stuck, please reach out, lovecreatesfreedom.com. And if you are struggling with meditations and you don't understand why you can't meditate, then check out the video that's popping up now. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Bye for now.